Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Local Legends, our little prequel to the Kitsap Quiz Night that we'll be hosting here at 7 o'clock. I am your host, Josh Farley. It's my pleasure to be with you. This is the Smokestack's Local Legend. Last month, we were graced by the amazing presence that is a local legend, Mike Herrera. And this month, we are blessed to have with us Heidi and Lowell Yoxamer, everybody. Yes. Special thanks to our Manette Saloon hosts for having us here to do this. You guys are nothing short of local legends, and we're going to get right into some questions here, you two. This was, in some ways, a very bittersweet summer for many of us in Bremerton because the institution, not just restaurant, but institution that you created here in Bremerton, Hi-Lo's 15th Street Cafe, was such a part of our fabric culturally in Bremerton, and we are just so grateful that you went as long as you did. So thank you for that. We're going to take and we're going to take a little dive back through the history, Heidi and Lowell. So first of all, just to start out with, how does it feel having gone through 17 years of having such an open arms community institution here in Bremerton?
Very grateful. Very, very, very grateful.
Awesome. Yeah, how about for you, Heidi?
It's still kind of soaking in. Like I'm still in that in-between part of things where it just kind of seems surreal, but I'm happy with the choice we made, but it's the people part that so we're definitely going to have to get out. And I'm happy to be in the community right now because I'm not working. So it feels fun to be able to rechannel that energy into getting back into the community instead of having to work every weekend.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you get to have some free time. That's a good thing, but definitely. So I thought that our audience here, as well as our listeners, would love to hear, and our viewers would love to hear about the start of Hi-Lo. So I know you both were in the restaurant business. You moved to Bremerton not long before Hi-Lo started. So tell me about how, just your backgrounds, both of you, and how we got here.
All right. Well, we met in 1992 at my stepsister's wedding, and that was the start of it. And we knew someday, eventually, that we were going to open something. And when we got to Bremerton, it was just waiting to happen. And so we took that leap of faith, and that's how that started.
So, we were supposed to, originally we wanted to open a coffee shop, but we moved a lot. So we were moving, looking for the small town that needed a cool coffee shop. So that's what started with coffee.
Okay.
And then we moved to this side of the water in 2000, and we couldn't find anywhere to eat. We're like, where do you eat? There was Sizzler, I think, was our first food.
Yeah.
And over the years, we'd both been in food a lot more, and we're like, this town needs some food. And so we kind of did food and coffee.
Gotcha. And that kind of little neighborhood breakfast place. I mean, every town's got one. Just that word of mouth. Hey, where do you go? Where do the locals go? So that was kind of the genesis of it. We're like, we can do that here in Bremerton. It's a blank canvas, and the neighborhood that we ended up in, everyone told us we were crazy, and by the 11th person, we're like, we're on to something here, and it truly was the community embracing it that just put it over the top of anything that we could ever have imagined.
Yeah, we only have 6 tables, so we thought Lo was going to be the cook and I was the waitress. At 6 tables, we could do that. And on the opening day, it was standing room only.
Wow.
It was February, so it was freezing. Our doors were frozen shut. We were trying to, they swelled, and it was off the hook. We had his Uncle Junior, who was 80 at the time, jumped in, and he was our first dishwasher because we all of a sudden were like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
So right out of the gate, everybody just was so supportive and
completely embraced it.
We were grabbing friends out of their bar stools. Will you please help us? We had no idea how hungry the town was.
So we technically started with 1 employee, and that was Katie. And then by the end of the second week, we had 13 employees.
Yeah.
And friends helping us out, and it just kind of went from there. So.
And through your time in Bremerton, more than 200 people worked at Hi-Lo. it was a jobs creator as
Yeah.
well.
Even if it was just one shift, we counted. Like if someone just helped us out, we're like,
there
that
you
counts.
go. I gotcha. Well, why Bremerton too? Take me back to 2000. We're going to go to February 15th, 2006. But why 2000? Why'd you come to Bremerton?
So we lived in Alki, and it was time to buy a house, and we could not
got it.
afford anything in Alki, and we also wouldn't be able to do a business over there either.
Sure.
So that was when like the internet was so we got on like the internet and started looking up things, and we took the Southworth ferry, looked in Southworth, and all we could afford was manufactured homes. So then we went to Port Orchard, and it was mobile homes, and then manufactured homes in Port Orchard, and then we got to Bremerton, and we're like, oh my gosh, there are so many beautiful like craftsman houses.
It's a complete diamond in the rough. I mean, it's just
basically it was to
so
buy
much
a house.
opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we could afford to buy a house here, which was just
and open a business where none of that would have been possible on the other side of the water at that time, like numerically or any other way. So we didn't know anybody when we moved here. We just kind of like packed up. We put an offer in on the house, and we didn't even wait to hear back. We just started packing. We're like, oh, that's where we're going. We're moving to Bremerton.
It was fate, serendipity that brought you to us. And was there in terms of one of the things I know we all love about Hilo was not just a great, just amazing menu of down home, just absolute scratch cooked, local family recipes, but also just an eclectic look. You picked up your mug. Was there a plan going in with that sort of mindset to create that atmosphere, or is it just a combination of the two of you?
Well, we've always been collectors of stuff, garage sales, recycling, repurposing things, and it took us 3 years from when we bought the building to actually get the restaurant open, because we were just working our day jobs, doing it as we could afford it. So it kind of the whole space and everything, it kind of organically grew out of, like, as we were cleaning it up, as we were designing it, and then, obviously the Thermos Museum, half of those were up in our kitchen at our house. So I was like, okay, we got somewhere to put those now.
And the coffee bus part, and with the mugs, that happened on accident, because we had the mugs up, but we thought that we would be like filling them up. Oh, hello. Sorry. We thought we'd be, doing, and when we opened, it was so busy. We're just like, get it yourself. Like, grab a cup, fill it up, and so that wasn't. We didn't even know that was going to happen. Like, it just sort of, that was just like a
organic. It just kind of happened, And so we just kind of rolled with things as they were happening, and
I love that. I love that sort of the economy of it was part of, and just the resourcefulness that you both had in putting it together, which speaks to, I know for me personally, and maybe those of you out there have the same love of this, but the Moon Biscuits and Gravy for me, I can't not talk about it. They were just so fabulous. And that was a result not just of, like, it was a great culinary creation, but it was also that economy, right? And I know you shared this story with me before when we put on a competition, and that was a dish that was voted one of the best in all of Bremerton. But can you tell the story of the Moon Biscuits and Gravy?
So the Moon Biscuits and Gravy, originally we weren't going to have them on the menu, just for the fact that biscuits, we didn't know how busy we were going to be. So you kind of got to make a lot of biscuits at once. And I was like, well, there's a really good chance they're going to go stale, because, I don't know how much we're going to be selling. And so with Michael John, her brother, we were talking about it, and over a few beers, and all of a sudden we're like, what if we put the biscuit batter in the waffle maker, and then we can make them to order, and it'd be a little bit unique. So the next day we tried it at the cafe, because we were kind of in the test, still in the kind of getting everything organized, and he thought we were totally joking. He's like, there's no way that's going to happen. And it turned out to be a signature item, and I got to use my grandma Hilda's recipe. She was a big inspiration for me as far as cooking goes. So it was kind of an honor to her that I could incorporate her recipe into my menu. So
That's so cool.
And then the rest is history. I mean, it's just crazy.
That's great.
Oh, and the funny thing too is, so we've never advertised like one iota, like not once, like zero, only like donating to schools and stuff. And all of a sudden, People Magazine started calling us, and I thought it was to make a subscription, and so I just kept blowing it off, right? I'm like, what? Why is People I don't want to order a magazine.
Yeah.
So it ends up, like, some algorithm, we had nothing to do with it, but the Moon Biscuits and Gravy ended up as in the People Magazine as, like, the best in Washington. Like, we
Washington's,
and
so
it wasn't
they
us,
picked
like, telling people vote
breakfast
for us,
item
like,
from all 50
just
states.
in the algorithm.
And
like,
Moon Biscuits
somehow.
was representing Washington. I mean, it was like, whoa, that is such an honor.
So I called my brother. I'm like, you won't believe this, man. Freaking Moon Biscuits and Gravy are in the People Magazine.
Yeah.
And it was a customer had come in. She's like, did you guys know? I'm like, I kept not calling them back, so I didn't think we were going to be in it. Because I was like, we can't even keep up with the amount now.
So we started making double batches of gravy, and we bought another waffle maker.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And
So but that same thing. It's all the people. Like, we had nothing. Like, it's like we had an idea, but the people are the ones that made it like what it is. Otherwise, we would have just been staring at the walls, you know. Like, but it was all the community and just all the people that it made Hilo's real.
Right.
Like, otherwise, like
and all our employees too. I mean, hands down, we've had a just wide range of people, and they've all been great.
Yeah,
and, I mean, it's been amazing.
I know that's part of an event like Quiz Night. Bremerton, you know, is, I still sort of argue that we need people to step up and do great things in the community. And I'm looking at two people who did such an amazing thing in Bremerton that is unforgettable. So many of us will never forget what you did. Part of the experience, of course, was that it did have that feeling of community. And up to when you got your check, Heidi, you brought a very special touch that we have to at least talk a little bit about, because I think for many in Bremerton that it was almost theatrical at the end of an incredible meal. So talk about that and your kazoo and and when you came to the table and I'd always have a mint, but I couldn't have candy. Yeah, you made it special. Yeah.
So the kazoo thing started with when it was someone's birthday. Like, I'd kazoo you for your birthday, and then at a certain point, I realized all the lunch boxes had a different theme on them. So, like, if I brought the Muppets, you'd get the Muppet song, and I started wearing it in my braid, which I forgot it. I apologize, but
That's okay.
So anyway, it just turned into a thing, and then and I realized later too, it was kind of a nice way to exhale. You know, like, because it could get so crazy in there, and like where you're just like running, and then all of a sudden you just could kazoo it out, and it was kind of a pressure relief too. Like, it was fun, and it just kind of like whoosh, and it just kind of became a thing. And what's really funny is a friend just gave me. I'm really excited about it, but it's a little like a little portable amplifier with a kazoo plug-in. So in our next phase, I'll be rocking the electric kazoo at Hilo's Groovy Goods, which is our next adventure.
And that's a great segue. Let's talk about your groovy adventures. What will you be able to? Tell us more about that.
So I've been making tie-dyes since the beginning of Hilo's.
Wow, cool.
And so I have all my tie-dye stuff going, but we're basically going to do, it's the same logo. It'll be Hilo's Groovy Goods, rocking it since 1992. And it's basically going to be like a little, like, if you're at a Dead show and you're in the parking lot, it's just going to be a pop-up. So it'll be a combination of my tie-dyes that I make, things that Lowell wants to make, and then incorporating, there's this company called Gypsy Rose. So I'm going to be a Gypsy Rose vendor, and they have a redonkulous amount of groovy stuff. So I'm going to have kazoos for sale, and like fun and hacky sacks and all that kind of fun bubbles, and then but we'll just be a pop-up. So we'll be popping up around town, but just in a different format. So we can still get to see all of our little friends and our older friends, and
so that segues into too. We're staying at Bremerton.
Oh yeah, we're definitely staying in Bremerton. Yeah, B-Town forever.
Yeah, B-Town forever.
One of the things that I had heard was, Lowell, in setup for the end of High-Lows, there was a point in which for about 5 hours straight you were making a meal a minute to satisfy customers. Is that about right?
Yep. So our record used to be a minute and a half, and the last 2 weekends, thanks to you guys, it was down to 1 minute, a complete entree for 5 hours straight.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
And the very last meal I've cooked professionally in 37 years was a Grateful Bowl. To Joni.
Yeah, Joni Pearson got the last.
Oh, Joni got the
Joni
last
got
one,
the last Grateful Bowl.
So cool.
And I felt like that was just, that just made my day.
We took a photo. I'm going to post more. I'll be posting photos from all the last weeks pretty soon.
Oh, man. Yeah, what a whirlwind, But, again, were the emotions running high as well, coming out?
Yeah.
A lot of wet.
Yeah.
A lot of wet eyeballs and a lot of hugs. And then I'm working, so I'm trying to hold it together. So I know it's all going to catch up pretty soon.
Love it.
We're just I know I need to.
You
a lot
just
of
about got me. Just when you're opening statements, you just about got me. I was like that close.
Well, okay. So let's play out a scenario as my last question. On the off chance I'm somehow invited to your home, what meal do you cook for me?
I don't know how to cook. That would be a question for Lowell. I'll bring it. I never learned how to cook.
What?
I don't know.
Grateful Bowl would be great. Green eggs and ham.
Pretty much just about anything. I guess I would ask you before you came over what your favorite menu item was.
Okay.
And we're moving the bus to our backyard.
Yeah. So we might invite you over for breakfast.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Okay. The bus is going to the backyard.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the coffee bus, too.
And the coffee bus.
Yeah, and we're going to build little awnings, so there could be some funny little.
Yeah. What do you think are the chances that a guy like me could get invited?
I think they're pretty good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
just messenger us. Mi casa es
Answer your messages.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to tell the people about the amazing contribution you made to Bremerton?
Thank you, Bremerton and beyond. We just feel so incredibly humbled and just thankful that we got to live our dream, and you share with. Okay, here it goes. Sharing with me and Heidi, and we watched a generation grow up, and it's just.
It feels like 2 generations because kids are having kids, the little kids are having kids. Yeah. So it's just and going away to college and getting married, and it's been just amazing. So I feel real grateful.
It's just been an amazing journey, and it keeps going. So it's like I say, we're going to be around and get involved in other things.
And one more thing, we're going to be making new. I don't know if anybody remembers the Beautify Bremerton stickers.
Oh, of course. I have one. Yes, of course.
So my parents over there, they helped us when we back in 2001. They helped us make those.
Oh, cool.
Because but we're going to be revamping them. So in our new Groovy Goods, there's going to be a new version of the Beautify Bremerton, and it's going to be all tie-dye backgrounds, and then all of the text is going to be in bright white. So instead of just black and white, we're bringing Beautify Bremerton into Technicolor.
I love it.
And those will still be
free.
And they'll still be free. Those are our free stickers to the community.
Yeah. Well, you have been nothing short of change agents for this place and making Bremerton better and beautifying Bremerton and doing all of those things. Can we get a huge round of applause for these two? They have changed Bremerton for the better, and we are all better for it. All right, one more round of applause for the Manette Saloon. We're going to start. You're so welcome. We're going to start Kitsap Quiz Night here momentarily. This has been Local Legends, sponsored by Kitsap Smokestack. Thanks for being with us.
Yay, Smokestack!
Woo! Bill.